You were bound for my transgressions. I have been released. Who the sun sets free is free. I am free indeed. I run to the cross. I fall in your arms, and I know I'm forgiven. And I know I'm forgiven. I run to the cross. I lay down my heart, and I am not forsaken. No, I am not forsaken. I had wandered far from mercy, still you searched for me. Held as captive to my failings, oh, you rescued me. Who the sun sets free is free. I am free indeed.
Hey guys, well, is it Good Saturday? Holy Saturday?
Holy Saturday.
Yeah, I don't know why I said Good Saturday. It's Holy Saturday!
Yay! Holy Saturday!
And this would be the part of the time where we're getting ready to
It gets intense today, guys.
go attend that long mass service.
Yes. Which hopefully you're able to do at home with your families.
For sure.
Which makes it somewhat a little bit easier. Maybe you can now do it in the comfort of your home. So I know usually when you go to this mass, you're packed shoulder to shoulder, and it's really hot.
You got grandma, grandpa, Theo, Thea, cousin 1, cousin 2, cousin 3, third cousin, fourth cousin, all the way down. You have someone over here, and then you're just there like
You're there with your missalette, trying to pay attention to the readings.
in the dark.
In the dark. They're reading one in English and then one in Spanish if you go to a bilingual mass.
And then you have like 8 of those readings to follow.
It's a ringer of a mass. But again, this time you can enjoy it in the comfort of your home with just your family members, and you get to listen to all the readings. I don't know about you guys, but I know my home parish would only Father would only pick like a certain number of readings to do, because there's a whole lot. I don't even know how many total there are. And my dad, I remember early in the day, he would turn on EWTN to see the Pope doing his mass, and he'd be like, the Pope reads all of the readings. He says, we're going to listen to them all. And I was like, Dad, like, why? But, hopefully you guys get to enjoy a mass that, whether they put you through all the readings or maybe only some of the readings, either way, you enjoy the mass and you enjoy the prayers and the wonderfulness and the beauty of what we're getting ready to celebrate.
For sure. So we kind of jumped the gun because we got really excited about Saturday.
We did.
the overall theme for today is Sitting Saturday, and I think it puts us in the mood of what happens now.
Patience.
Okay. So looking at today, we see the disciples wondering what's happening. They just saw the beloved teacher crucified, and when we put ourselves in their shoe, they really had no idea what was going to happen next. They were kind of just sitting and waiting to see what was going to happen.
Right. So we're stuck in the same boat. We are remembering what's happened today or what happened yesterday, and so tonight is all about the waiting and the hope. Thankfully and lovingly, we know what's going to happen. We know what comes out of this. But like Andrew said, in that moment, we're kind of stuck in the dark like everybody else was. The disciples were absolutely terrified of what was going to happen to them, so they locked themselves away. His followers had scattered. They were unaware of what had happened. Everyone was wondering in this point in time, was Jesus who he said he was? He constantly talked about dying and coming back. Is it true? Did we follow the Son of God, or did we follow just some crazy dude who was just making things up and happened to get a really good following? So they're stuck in a series of hoping and a series of waiting. And so we are in that moment too. So that's what happens tonight. So when you would normally go to Mass, the Mass starts out dark. There is no lights. There are no lights on. There's nothing in the church. The altar will be stripped bare. The tabernacle is empty. They'll have moved the chalice to some other part of the church so that they can keep them there. Because in this point of time, as a church, we don't exist yet. The resurrection is not a thing, so the Mass is not established yet. Mass isn't happening. Nothing is happening right now. We're stuck in the dark, and we're waiting for the light of the world to come back, right? So that's how we start at the Mass. We start at the Mass with some prayers, and then we are given in the darkness a light, right? Mm-hmm. So that light is where we start off, and we are given a candle, and
we get a new Easter candle.
We get a new Easter candle, right? And for right now, that's the only candle that'll be lit, right? Father will light that big candle, and then he'll walk in carrying that candle, and you got your little stick, like, waiting to be lit. You're like, okay,
here we go.
I'm waiting for something to happen. Sorry, my Siri caught just like everything I just said, so it's reading everything I'm saying. But we're waiting. We got our candles, and we're ready to go. We're all standing in the dark, and it is honestly like my favorite Mass of the Triduum. It is the coolest thing ever, I think, going to that Mass and just standing there in the dark with my candle, and it's just a big glowy in the church. Like, I feel like I'm in the ancient times before they had lights and everybody had to do Mass in secret, so all you had was a candle. And I'm standing there and I'm like, okay, I'm ready. And then they play that really long prayer, and then we're just like, okay. And then after that is when we finally get to light all of our candles. So the Easter candle will light one candle, and then everybody lights each other's candles. And suddenly the church is like filled with a whole bunch of light. And it's the coolest thing ever.
Right, because you're there waiting, and you're like, Johnny's about to light my candle. Here we go, Johnny.
Yeah.
Johnny lights a candle, and then you go light Sarah's candle, and then Sarah lights Susie's candle, and then
everybody's candles are lit.
And the Mass is lit.
And, right? And it's the coolest thing ever, because we're now waiting, and we now have hope, because the light of the world is coming back. Right? Because Easter will start by midnight tonight. So exciting.
Yeah, for sure. We get the Mass, we get to celebrate, and we're rejoicing.
We're rejoicing. It's anything new. Usually if you have anybody who's going to be baptized or receive a sacrament, it's the only time of the year that they can do it without bishop needing to be there. So they'll go to their church, and and they'll be like, oh, we have some new people who are becoming Catholic, and so that's the night that they join us. It's a whole night of newness and celebration. It's an absolute greatness to see and to witness, to be a part of, even if the readings are super long, even if, it feels like the Mass is never going to end. It is the coolest thing ever by the end of it, because by the end of that Mass, we're rejoicing.
Like, we don't even want to go to sleep because he rose.
He rose. So, what we want to focus on is, like Andrew said earlier, is the waiting portion of this night. The patience. Where are we at in our hearts and our minds? Are we keeping the faith in Jesus? And so I think it's a really cool question to ask ourselves. Not only for tonight as we remember what happened, are we keeping our faith and our hope in Jesus, but in our daily lives. When things get hard, when we think Jesus hasn't been listening to us or hasn't been there, and we're stuck in this like void and this darkness where we're hoping and we're waiting, because we're like, Jesus, you said you'd give me peace, you said you'd give me love, you said you'd be there for me. Here I am hoping and waiting in this time of my life. Will you do it? And that light comes in because he does mean it.
And again, I just see, like how Lourdes said, just in the Mass, how that light just spreads, and it's how light comes in our lives. Like, it starts off as a small light, but once we get it going, then the light spreads throughout our lives, and we're no longer sitting, but now we're in action. Because again, it's that tiny little portion where we sit and we wait, and we're there praying, and it's the moment where we're like, okay, here it comes, and we know what's coming.
Yeah.
So I think it's an important thing to be able to, again, have that. I think the same way in any, funeral type situation, like, we have the moment where we sit and we have that time to mourn. And right now, we're in that time of like, okay, he died, and we wait. And it kind of all happens fast because it happens in the course of those, those 3 days, but we get to celebrate that waiting just a little bit to say, Christ, we know how this story ends, and you conquer death, and because of you, again, we get the opportunity to celebrate with you whenever we take our last breath and get to go to heaven.
For sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to share?
No, I think that was it. I mean, there's a whole lot I could share, but we'd be here for forever if I wanted to share. So.
Again, so I hope you get to enjoy the Mass from your home, you know, and before we can't just close without an activity.
Yeah.
That would not be like us. Why? Because every day needs to have an activity.
Every day.
Every day.
So.
The activity for today is having your own candle service inside your home. So we won't be able to celebrate, you know, the litness of Holy Saturday, but we're going to celebrate the litness in our homes.
Mm-hmm.
So the same way that we would start off in church, do it in your homes. Have the house dark. Start off with that one candle and light each other's candles, so that way you remind everyone that they are also a light to the world, and we are called to let that light shine. Because this little light of mine,
I'm gonna let it shine.
right? So be that light that be the light that we're gonna spread in everything. So we want to see your darkness into light pictures. So take a picture with you and your family. Each of y'all have a candle. Maybe y'all have one candle. However y'all want to do it. And post it to social media using the hashtag CTK Holy Week and hashtag CTK Holy Saturday. And let's light up social media. Hey, let's light up social media with all the darkness that, again, is going on right now. Let's be the light and show, again, that Christ is coming, and he's going to come on Easter Sunday, because we're going to get to rejoice because he's resurrected.
He's back.
So, I like that. He's back. Back again.
Hey.
No, probably not like that.
Okay.
No. Okay. But again, post these on social media and have your own church service as you get ready to celebrate with the Mass later on in the evening.